Donald Trump is getting primaried. Donald Trump is getting primaried by a man that is essentially a deadbeat dad. Now, he started working with his wife in order to get her to sign a statement saying that he wasn't a deadbeat dad, but for a very long time he was considered to be a deadbeat dad. And deadbeat dad Joe Walsh is primarying Donald Trump, saying he's unfit to lead. We're going to get another clown car of a primary. Walsh has no chance, by the way. Welcome to the soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content and you find yourself coming back to this channel often, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Also, if you really dig it, please consider supporting this content through PayPal or Patreon. We like to say even $1 helps. Primary. So the Republicans are also seemingly going to get a primary. And the question becomes how involved in this primary. A lot of this has to do with an element of the Republican Party that is freaked out by Donald Trump being in the White House. He is far, far too honest. And he gives this kind of hideous face of America that they don't necessarily like to show. So you have some Republicans who are honestly just as bad, just as bombastic, and just as much of a lunatic as Donald Trump, trying to primary Donald Trump. This, in this case, is deadbeat dad Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh came out and said the following.
And we heard you say, I helped create Trump. So what turned the tide for you?
Well, you know, when I voted for Trump in 2016, I didn't love him. I didn't like him. He wasn't Hillary. I figured he was sort of a goof, but maybe he'd, appoint a few good people and a few good things would happen. It became pretty clear to me a couple things, that he lied virtually every time he opened his mouth. And I don't care what your politics are. If we have a president who we fundamentally can't believe, that's a problem. And then, as you said, at Helsinki last summer, when he stood in front of the world and said, I believe Putin and not my own people, that was it for me. That was sort of the final straw. I've been waiting all year for some Republican to step up and run against him and say that President Trump is morally unfit to be president. Nobody has stepped up. So as difficult as it is for me, I stepped up over the weekend.
But, Joe, people have made the comparison to you and President Trump. You have also made incendiary comments and false comments as late as 2017, tweeting about Kamala Harris, saying, as a black woman, you can say dumb things. Have you evolved since 2017?
Yeah, it's really interesting. People called me Trump before Trump. Look, we were divided before Trump, and I would argue that it's actually the divide that helped get Trump elected. I went to Congress in 2010. I was part of the Tea Party class. We went there to do some things. You know me, guys. I've been very outspoken. I tweet a lot. I say a lot of things. And oftentimes I go over the line, and I've said things that have been mean and hateful.
Just so we're clear, then why are you different? Why are you different? If you're telling him, hey man, look guys, you know me. I say things that are mean and hateful and at times can be taken to be brutally racist. But Trump is really bad. What's the difference then? Why can't Trump make that exact same argument? You know me. I'm Donald Trump. I tweet things sometimes that are just kind of mean and hateful and sometimes considered to be racist. I mean, come on. You know me. That's the same argument. If you're arguing that, look, I'm the one that got Trump started, fair enough. And I got to be honest, you're a lot like him. With this added thing of being a deadbeat dad. I had a deadbeat dad. My dad wasn't around pretty much any time. He would lie habitually. And on top of lying habitually, for the most part, child support was few and far between. I don't like deadbeat dads. And especially when those deadbeat dads are trying to run for president. Deadbeat dad Joe Walsh is literally trying to challenge Donald Trump for the presidency in the Republican Party. Republicans that typically just fall in line and don't necessarily have this thing like libs of trying to eating each other alive. This is going nowhere. I am telling you, mark my words, this will go nowhere. The Republican Party gets what it wants out of Donald Trump. It may not necessarily like the face, but they got their tax cuts. He passed that grotesque tax cut. He was trying to get rid of Obamacare. That's what they wanted. And this attacks on China and everything else. Milk toast on that particular point. I mean, they kind of do, but at the same token, kind of not, because it adversely affects their wallet. But if he can kind of get some kind of win within the context, then they're okay with it. He gives them what they want. Their issue is the racist stuff. Because that fits firmly within the narrative that the Democratic Party puts, that these guys are racist, sexist, and bigoted and everything else. And Donald Trump says, yes, we are, vote for me anyway. They don't like that. I have a hard time figuring out what's the difference between Joe Walsh and Donald Trump. It would be as if Joe Biden was on that stage and then Hillary Clinton said, you know what, I need to primary Joe Biden because, Joe Biden is whatever. You're the same factor. You are a one-to-one. And I would even say you might even be worse because you're, at the end of the day, a deadbeat dad. I don't care if you get your wife to sign that paper saying you weren't. You were a deadbeat dad. Let's take a look at this.
I've learned that that's a horrible way to be. And in fact, the election of Donald Trump and who he is, what I've seen in him, because to me, he's like the worst personification of these ugly personal attacks. And that's really forced me to change my tone. And I think that's a good thing.
You're up.
He's changed. He's evolved. That's nice. He's evolved. In a year, he's evolved. Deadbeat dad Joe Walsh. He's evolved. And you can believe he's evolved because, he tells you so. Hey, I've seen how bad Donald Trump was in regards to the way people were taking the stuff that he was saying and the racist and sexist and bigoted stuff he was saying. I saw that. And I changed. I bought a cat. I have this puppy. This dog with a bad leg. I've become a better person. I even care for the elderly in my spare time when I go to this old folks home over here. I'm a far, far better person. I even gave my wife the $100,000 in child support that I owed her. By the way, deadbeat dad Joe Walsh. Do you know that deadbeat dad Joe Walsh, I think this was back in 2016, something to that effect, or 2015, 2014, whenever he was running, he owed $117,000 in child support. Owed his wife and that child $117,000 in child support, while simultaneously loaning his campaign money. But deadbeat dad Joe Walsh now wants to tell America that he, deadbeat dad, has grown and evolved and is now a better person. And you can believe him because he tells you so. Those are convincing statements, not statements of any kind of factual reality per se. What is true is that you agree that for the most part, you say things that are hateful and mean and racist. You just told the reporter that you said those things and that people know you. Yeah, people know you. They know you as a deadbeat dad that owed his wife $117,000 while simultaneously loaning his campaign a ton of money. That's what they know you as, deadbeat dad Joe Walsh. So no, nobody is going to back you up in this. Nobody is going to give you money in this. And your campaign against Donald Trump is going to go nowhere. Republicans are in no way going to leave the horse to which they have been riding that has gotten them to the White House, that has given them pretty much everything that they want in the domestic sphere, for some nobody like you. That's a deadbeat dad. Good luck and kick rocks. I don't like deadbeat dads, so yes. But everything I've just said here is true. Everything I said here is true. There's somebody else who's getting into this clown car of a race that's developing. Mark Sanford. Do you remember who Mark Sanford is? Mark Sanford is the guy that had an affair with a woman and skipped town in order to be with that woman. Now, the interesting part here is he told people that he was somewhere else. If I'm remembering correctly, and he was like in South America somewhere, but he did it for love. And so at the very least, I give Mark Sanford a little bit of credit that he was willing to essentially throw away his life with his wife for his mistress. Did it for love. Family values. He's getting into the race, apparently. So you have a guy who left his wife, family values, Mark Sanford, and another guy that is literally a deadbeat dad that owed his wife and child $117,000. Family values. Republican Party. Grab him by the pussy. Deadbeat dad. Extramarital affair. Just saying. Just saying. I've said on more than one occasion, there is no such thing as a Christian Republican. It doesn't exist. That's a provocative statement, but I think it's a statement of just absolute fact. I don't even know how it can be argued the other way around. This notion of a moral majority and all this other stuff, the moral majority should go to the side that's actually trying to look out for individuals and treat this other person as their brother. So let's be very clear. These guys may scream about family values and all this other stuff. Deadbeat dad Joe Walsh, grab him by the pussy, and extramarital affair will be the standard bearers for the Republican Party going into the next race. That's assuming that these guys even get out of the starting line in the sense of primarying Trump. My suspicion is this goes nowhere. He just wants publicity. Like and share.